What's up, people? We're going to install Zulip, which is that Slack replacement or Discord replacement server. It has not as many probably services and integrations that the other two have, but this is a way you can own your own platform. So if you want to own the content and have it on your own server, this is going to be a place to do that. Some people actually prefer Zulip to Slack, so that's something you might be interested in looking into. But this primarily is for people who want to own their own server, have all their communication on their own servers. So let's get into it right now. Let's start at the DigitalOcean, where we always start. Doesn't matter what region, and pick a Debian, in this case Debian 12, and then go with a mid or lower to mid range. Let's go to the companion document. I'm just going to start copying stuff to make it easy on myself. And you can use this document for the exact same reason, to make it easy. So I compiled a step-by-step list of commands you can just copy and paste. Sometimes you'll have to make changes for your own customization. Now, once this server's spun up, you want to get the IP address and create an A record in your DNS settings. If you don't want to use DNS or your own domain, then just use the IP address. But I always like to use DNS, so I'm going to update my A record on my domain, and then we'll move forward. Okay, it's updated. So the reason why you want to do this right now is because once we start installing the server is going to go out for that A record if you use your domain name, and it's going to try to register, an SSL certificate. So you need to do this now so the IP and the A record has time to propagate. Okay, we have it spun up. Now we need to log in. So I'm going to make sure that that's still copied, and we're going to SSH space root at, in my case it's 138.1, and then the password after we say yes to this fingerprint. And the first command is always updating. So I'm just going to make it easy myself, copy and paste. And in this case, this is just asking if you want to update the package manager. And I'd recommend you do, but you don't have to. I like to keep the server completely up to date. And one of the reasons why I'm running the installation this way is because I'm not using the DigitalOcean marketplace in this case. This time we're installing it directly from a fresh install of Debian 12. So this next command you do not need to run, but you're probably going to have to use wget anyway. So wget is one of these you're going to have, but I install these others just for future reasons. All right, the next one is just creating a temporary directory to run the installation out of. Download and run the installation out of. And now we're going to download the package of Zulip, and then we're going to unpack. All right, now this time you're going to have to do a little bit of editing here, because in this case, you're going to have to change this to your own host name, and then you have to change this to whatever email you want to use. And once you added these for your, just basically take a text file, type all this out or copy it, and then just edit the host name and edit the email address. If you did not do an A record or an updated A record, then just add the IP address here. And of course, you're going to have to change your email address to whatever the hell email address you want to use. After you have those two things changed, copy that entire line, that entire command, so you can run the script. And this will run the installer, and this will take about 20 minutes. I'll be back when it's finished. All right, so it's not exactly finished, but it's asking you to accept the license. So click yes or Y and then enter. And it's probably most of the way done, and it just needs to finish the installation and apply the certificate. Okay, so it's completely installed successfully. You can see the link right here that you need to copy, and then just copy into a browser. If you use the IP address, your IP address will be here /new. So here we go. Just gonna paste this in, and you just can type whatever you want here. There's nothing special. And let's see, what's the email address? What am I doing? And then just type in whatever password, and we're going to configure the email server on the command line. So you'll see you have this red bar, and you need to configure the email settings, and that red bar will go away. I'll show you everything. Okay, so let me do something else. What we should do right here is set up a SendGrid account, because a SendGrid account gives you 100 free emails, I think, per month until they charge you anything. That's a really good option. If you already have an email server, that's great, but I really think the SendGrid is probably the best way to go, unless you have a good, reliable SMTP server. So actually, let's do that after the fact. So let's just run through it, because I already have all my settings ready to go. Let's just see what I want to do. I want to edit this file for the email server. But what do you want to do first? Let's see. I'm going to reboot this server, and then we're going to jump into it. Okay, so let's log back in. Put in that password, and let's go and edit that SMTP server. So that is, use your editor, whatever editor you like. I like Vi, so you can use that or Nano if you prefer. I think that's installed by default. Oh, this is not the right file. Okay. I went into the password file. Okay, now we're going to go into the SMTP configuration file. Open that up by hitting enter after you type in the full command with the file name. And here's the outgoing email SMTP settings. And what we're going to do, I never change anything. I just copy and change the copy. So it's YYP. So go to the beginning of the line and click YY and then P. So I'm just making my copies first. So let's go back and start making these changes. Okay, so I'm going to hit hold shift and press A to jump to the end of the line and go into edit mode at the same time. In this case, because I'm using SendGrid, I'm going to change that. And then I'm going to take, let's put in my username. And the username for SendGrid, if you're sending up an SMTP relay, is API key. So let's take away the comment, which is the hash or pound sign. And you see they changed from blue to purple, indicating they're active, and they'll be red. You want to take the hash or pound sign away on those two lines, and let's do that here too. But in this case, we need to edit this to false, and then edit this to whatever email address you want to use to hold this place. And I'm going to take away the hash symbol same way as I did before to enable that line. So once that's done, hit escape, hold shift, and press ZZ, which will save and quit that file. And let's go into the other file, which is the secrets, which is the password file. I'm not going to show you my great, what do you call that password? SendGrid password. But you need to type in email underscore password equals, and then paste in the password. So just one moment while I get my password. And then once you have the password in there, hit escape to go out of edit mode, and then hold shift, ZZ, and now you're back here. Okay, so what's the next thing we're going to do? Okay, so now we need to restart the server. Well, this is another opportunity just to reboot, just to make it easy on ourselves, just to reboot the server one more time. Now, we could have tested the server first, but unfortunately I rebooted already, so this banner should go away as soon as it restarts. And I can test that just by restarting this. Oops, it's not on yet. Okay, it's not back up. So once it's back up, let's see, it should come back up on this side too. Yeah, so now it went away. So I didn't even need to test it. The settings, if you follow my directions, they'll work right away. And you can use any email server you want. You just have to make sure that your email server is using the TLS and that it's using this particular port. If it's not, you have to change it. You can use SSL with the 465. But in this configuration, this is what I'm doing, especially because I'm using SendGrid. So in the next video, I'm going to show you guys how to set up a SendGrid SMTP email relay.